It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
These niggas ain't nothing to me. These niggas ain't nothing to me. These niggas ain't nothing to me. Yeah, I walk a path handcrafted by God. There's a storm, see the bars to the fall. In the midst of my flaws, I can't fall. Elevated by the culture, the creation and my fold. To burn bridges like sofa, divine image. High spirits in the battle, cast arrows, then preserve them when I'm gone like a pharaoh. My apparel, beyond fresh, beyond flesh. My blood brothers draw text like architects, artifacts. Real, recognize authentic. Fans get it, they cast stones. I curve like Andy Pettit, I'm geometric. God particle rhymes living in my genetics. Comedic flows like now rivers, I'm synesthetic. I've been connected, no signal in the phone. I was wired and hired to watch niggas like a drone. Been a menace with the chrome, let it infiltrate your bones. Niggas talk jazz and sidelines like Cherry Sloan, Al Capone. Never rest easy with them breathing. Chan Bailey off the deep and dropping quotes like Ephesians. Aromatic rap, smell the truth like I'm chiefin'. Every bar perfectly placed, linen for sequence. My defense, my offense, drop bomb, Vietnam war vets. I'm more or less cocky with a mic in my hand. The block out a sedan. I think quicker than you plotting a scam. Back.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid, J Nolan. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. I hope y'all doing good out there. Yeah. Had to give y'all a quick little vibe check in the room, man. Now, this story that we about to get into, I really meant to talk about this yesterday, but, in the midst of the whole No Spin TV video I did, and then that impromptu video of Mr. Joe Cat jumping into the Drake UMG issue, I really didn't have time to get around to this, but we're going to get into it nonetheless, because Mr. Baka Not Nice has come out with a response to Kendrick Lamar referencing him in Not Like Us. Now, this isn't a lyrical response, but according to a new interview that he has, he was actually considering jumping out there and perhaps dropping a diss record of his own towards Kendrick Lamar. But he says, I don't know if God intervened or if it was Drake that, just had it on his spirit. But basically, he put the call in and told him not to, right? We're going to go ahead and pull up this footage of Baka talking about the situation and how his name, how he feels that his name has been tarnished in the public due to the, massive nature of this record. According to what's going on, I don't see how you could even be mad. I guess you could be mad because it's out there on a bigger scale than it ever was. But if your boy is in a battle and niggas is dissing each other's crews, and everybody is collateral damage along the way, you kind of got to just play your position, right? Because the person whose name took a lot of heat in the battle, we don't see Whitney coming out here whining, moaning, filing lawsuits, and a lot of people feel like she has the breadth and the bandwidth to do so, but we ain't heard from her on that. So everybody else at this point is fair game. But again, let's go ahead and pull up the footage of Homeboy talking about the situation. And he said something about, not producing paperwork to prove the allegations or whatever. I find that to be very interesting because, dog, it was already out here before it was ever said. But whatever, let's get to it. Here we are. Baka Not Nice reveals he was going to respond to Kendrick Lamar, but Drake told him to ignore all the noise. He also called Kendrick's accusations ridiculous.
At first, my first initial thing was to respond and respond quickly, very efficiently, and very to the point.
Very directly.
Yeah, and but like it started brewing in me because where I come from, like that shit doesn't happen. Like you can't just call out a man and not have paperwork to back up your talks. Like that is this.
I think the only thing paperwork isn't available for was the when Drake, they say Drake called the police when he got robbed at New Hope King. They say he called the police, but we don't know if there was ever a police report filed, or at least I don't. Y'all may know. Cause y'all be knowing some stuff that I don't. But I know that was a source of contention for Drake in the battle, saying, producing fake tea or whatever. But as far as Baka, I mean, your situations are all documented, sir. The fuck?
It's ludicrous.
It
and
is.
then like to see like a whole nation behind it and celebrating it like it's a true story is unbelievable, because everybody has to understand, like I have a kid, Drake has a kid, you know what I mean? So like making accusations like that are like ridiculous and
It is.
out of this world, you know what I'm
And I understand, if you're wrongfully accused of something, how you could be defensive and angry and, all of those types of things. But again, just remember, you have a kid and you don't like being called a PDF. However, Kendrick has a fiance and y'all claim that he been beating her up for years. But nobody cares about how she feels about that. Y'all claim that she was sleeping with Kendrick's business partner, best friend, since he been in high school at a bare minimum. Said that she birthed a child with said friend, and Kendrick's just out here taking care of him like his own. But y'all don't care about how she feel about that. Don't make no sense. Now understand, to the average person, and I emphasize the word average person, the PDF thing holds a lot more weight. But they both are fucked up accusations to make. And if we're going to get into this whole, we're mad about what we're being called on hip hop diss records, then let's just put it all on the table. You know what I'm saying? When Nas called Jay-Z H to the Izzo, M to the Izzo, you know what I'm saying? Let's put that on the table too. Let's go ask Jay-Z how he felt about that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go find Carmen. I think she's done interviews where she said she didn't really like how Jay-Z threw Skeeting in the Baby Seat in the rap. You know what I'm saying? Let's go bring up everybody who got dissed and everybody related, who got referenced in a diss. Let's just start rounding up the entire diss record Avengers and just go down the line. How did you feel when you got mentioned in this song? You know what I'm saying? And don't do it on Vlad TV. Cause come the fuck on, man.
saying? So, but like, what I was gonna tell you is this: like, I was building up a lot of anger and stuff like that, but then I got a call, and I don't know why I got this call. It's like God said something to him or something. But the boy, sorry, it might not have been a call. It might have been a text message. But he messaged me, and he's like, "Yo, I know what you're feeling. I know you as an individual, and I know how you get down. But I'm just letting you know, like, don't listen to the noise, because it's noise. And if you go back and look at all these people that are saying things or having anything to say, they're not even actual real people. They're like bots.
Exactly.
So like, don't let that shit bother you, bro."
Fact.
And let's be clear, if we're talking about bots, I can attest to this. Know how many bots been in my fucking mentions for the last 4-5 days? For the last week? OVO bots, niggas with goddamn owls in they fucking screen username. You know what I'm saying? Niggas trying to discredit my shit, because I got, number one, we got just regular everyday Drake fans that don't like me talking to Chapo. We digging into stuff that's hitting the net, conversations that people are having, and I'm just addressing them. Then you got the DJ that don't spin and his minions coming out and backing him up on behalf of the boy. Yeah, niggas deal with bots, man. All right? Y'all ain't special. Okay? You're in a privileged position to even be mentioned in a rap song after the shit that you had going on, sir. Even if you are being marked as infamous, you might as well put that motherfucking song lyric in your studio as motivation. Damn, I got mentioned on one of the biggest records of all time. I guess I just had to eat that shit and live with it and be happy, nigga.
Like, and you know what? Like, I mean, it's not a good thing, but they're calling your name. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know, like they're gonna get over this crap because they're gonna realize that it's crap, and then they're gonna go do their own research. And when you do your own research, you're gonna be like, wow, this guy made up a whole story about something that isn't even true, and it makes you look weird to me. I don't know.
It does.
But I want to say one thing to America, and y'all need to like get yourself together because. Yo, making accusations on people, serious accusations like that, you need to have paperwork. That is the rule, like number one rule that everybody goes by. So don't switch up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Terrible message to America. The fact that you even decided to do a PSA to America is craziness. And Hot Freestyle, the fact that y'all platform this, whoever the guy is sitting in this interview, co-signing and agreeing to everything. And I understand the weight of being in an interview with a specific subject that's talking, and you don't want to you don't want to malign the person that you're talking to. You don't want to aggravate or agitate them because you really are there to talk to them and get their opinion and get the best conversation out of them. But the fact that you're and co-signing everything that he's saying along that way, and the fact that you did this interview with him, it feels like you're also aiding and abetting his actions and that PSA to America. And it's like, damn, just know for sure Hot Freestyle will never get any love from Kendrick or anyone affiliated. So I hope that OVO will take care of y'all platform forever. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy because on Twitter this video has 3 million views, but the last time when I saw it on YouTube, it had like damn near 800 views, and that kind of goes to show you how social media amplifies things way larger than they really are. And I wonder what would have happened if people would have just ignored this interview, not platformed it at all. It would have just passed and nobody would have gave two fucks about what Baka had to say. But now we're here talking about it because it blew up and it became a conversation. See how that works? But since Baka did challenge people to look into the situation further, I guess we'll do the justice. So here, this is Hot New Hip Hop, and sometimes they do good journalistic work, sometimes they do very terrible journalistic work, but let's see what they have here. OVO Baka's Not Nice. Weird case controversy, breaking down the allegations and conviction. This was posted May 15, 2024. So this is after Not Like Us came out, of course. Baka Not Nice's past became a point of conversation following the release of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Travis Savory, the rapper better known as Baka Not Nice, which I've never heard a song from this man in his life to be known as a rapper, has been riding with Drake's OVO sound crew for years. But Baka Not Nice also comes with a lot of controversies relating to his criminal background. In the early 2000s, he did time for armed robbery and assault. He's also got an assault conviction from 2015 for putting his hands on his ex-girlfriend. So while Drake is out here saying that's the type of lifestyle that Kendrick is living, he is out here platforming and celebrating the release of a man who's out here with a conviction for an assault on a woman. Kind of crazy how that works. However, the reason Baka Not Nice has become a social media study case can be traced back to 2014. Following Kendrick Lamar's Skate the Not Like Us, Drake and the OVO crew have been viewed in a grimy light. The chart-topping diss track points a finger to Baka's arrest back in 2014 on allegations of human trafficking and firearm offenses. K-Dot, highlighting the dodgy allegations surrounding Drake and his crew involving minors, has put a spotlight on each individual. So what exactly happened with the charges and conviction against Baka Not Nice? Has K-Dot opened a can of worms in OVO's basement? Before he was rapping, Baka was moving as Drake's security guard. So I guess he was the original Chubbs. So they went way back. Even with all the aforementioned legal drama, his career kept soaring higher and higher. He even had vocals on Drake's albums Nothing Was the Same and More Life. Then in 2017, Drake made it official and signed Baka to OVO Sound as one of the label's artists, when all I ever heard him say was an interlude on More Life. More Life! Anyway, so they say, here's what happened with that 2015 assault conviction. Baka Not Nice pleaded guilty to assaulting a 22-year-old Toronto woman who was reportedly his on-again, off-again girlfriend at the time. The story was that in 2014, Baka got drunk and passed out at home while food was burning on the stove. And I believe the food in question were French fries. So I guess he had threw some French fries in some hot grease and had a drunken sleep and was damn near about to burn the house down. Okay? They say that this young lady, and I'm just going off of other things that I've heard of this account, they say that the young lady came in and was screaming on him for his irresponsibility and lack of awareness. And then that's when he allegedly put his hands on her and pushed her to the floor or something to that extent. The following week, she called the police. For the incident, Baka Not Nice pleaded guilty to the assault on his ex, and in exchange, some other unrelated firearm charges were dismissed, but the court still hit him with a 6-month prison sentence for the crime, though since he had already been locked up for 11 months after first an initial arrest in 2014, he was free to leave the court. As it pertains to the human trafficking allegations, the reason Baka Not Nice was initially arrested and jailed for 11 months in 2014 was over some extreme allegations of trafficking. Allegedly, he forced that same 22-year-old ex into prostitution. Now, forced prostitution is crazy work. Some people out here would say, oh, no, he was a pimp. No, blah, 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 blah. Which pimping falls under trafficking in America. You know, although that was glorified at once upon a time. But forced is wild. Notably, those human trafficking and prostitution charges were eventually dropped. This is because the woman in question refused to testify against Baka in court. Evidently, Baka Not Nice maintained his innocence throughout the whole case. Nonetheless, those horrific accusations are pretty damning for his career and reputation. Okay? So he had a court date. She never showed up. Therefore, his charges were dropped. Now, some might say, well, maybe there was intimidation involved. I can't say that, but one can wonder. Throughout all of this, OVO and Drake have mostly stayed tight-lipped about the case against Baka Not Nice. Neither party really addressed the human trafficking allegations. Unsurprisingly, some fans have questioned the hypocrisy of keeping Baka around after that mess, especially since Drake boldly alleged that Kendrick was violent toward his fiancée. I mean, it's only fair to look at it through that scope. Evidently, Drake does not mind OVO co-signing a man with these skeletons in his closet. For example, while speaking on signing Baka Not Nice, Drake said when he got out of jail, there was a lot of different paths he could have took, and he decided to focus on music, which we still have not heard. It's the year of 2025. He got signed in 2017, and I ain't heard a song yet. Not to say he never released one. I just ain't never heard it, ain't never came across my radar to be checking for. Even with the human trafficking case dismissed, the stench of those allegations lingers around Baka Not Nice. While he's still signed to OVO and moving forward with his rap career, the recent beef between Drake and K-Dot has dug up questions about him and his past life. The fact remains that Baka took a plea deal for assaulting his girlfriend. Too many, that alone ought to have made OVO think twice about keeping them around. Right? So that's the story on Baka and his weird case and how he's still around. Very interesting, to say the least. Not to mention the fact that when he was let out, Drake posted on social media it was supposed to be a Canadian national holiday or some shit like that, which is crazy. Fucking insane. But you know, anything to make yourself look like some sort of criminal boss in hip-hop, I guess. Now, as for Baka talking about, you know, wanting to get back at Kendrick on wax, boy, he would have put your ass in the blender so bad you wouldn't even had that motherfucking interview with Hot Freestyle. Let's be very clear. It ain't nothing you possibly could have said on wax. Ain't enough threats in that motherfucking recording booth that you could have put out that would have measured up to anything. If the nigga that's running your ship couldn't out rap and out diss Kendrick, what the fuck was finna happen to you, sir? Excuse me? You was finna go get Cardinal Official to write the shit for you. Cause what are we even talking about? What? Are we smoking on dust here? But again, you know, that's the mentality that comes from these people. We saw OVO 40 try to be a tough guy on fucking DJ Cypher Sounds last year, the fucking most unthreatening DJ in the world. And the most unthreatening fucking producer, engineer in the entire industry, trying to act like a tough guy towards Cypher Sounds. Who was the other nigga that got all defensive in his interview because he heard a Kendrick Lamar song coming from upstairs? What was that nigga name, man? The nigga Popcorn. That nigga was in the middle of an interview. He heard a Kendrick Lamar song. I think it was coming from the apartment upstairs. That stop this motherfucking interview. We'll make them turn that shit off. Boy, you don't get out of here with your goddamn banging on the dumb furnace ass out of here. But anyway, let me know what y'all think of all this shit down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're coming inside. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. These niggas is weird. Peace, y'all.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.